Chef Pesto here for another great video. Today we're diving into breakfast. I'm gonna make for you the most delicious omelet I make myself almost every single day. Let's get to it. All right guys, here we are. So I've done the liberty of getting a lot of the prep done ahead of time. I'll kind of run through things here. I cracked 4 eggs, medium to large is fine. Finally sliced some chives. We have 2 tabs of butter. One is 1 teaspoon, the other is a tablespoon. We'll get to that later. We have about roughly 8 halved cherry tomatoes, some asparagus ends. Now this is a nice way to use product that you are not using for another dish, or you can keep them on the end of your asparagus and use them, but I think it's a great way to utilize product. We have some onion powder, some salt and pepper, a little bit of heavy cream, and some shredded cheddar cheese. So first what we're gonna do is grab our whisk, and we're gonna break these yolks here. Now what you want to do when you're whisking this is essentially you're whipping air into the eggs. This is going to keep the eggs nice and light and fluffy. Combining the yolks with the whites. Here. See, it's starting to come together. You want to go until you don't see any yolks or whites that are separated. You'll see like the little piece of white in there. And you'll see it's not separated. So this looks good, because what we're gonna do is we're going to add our heavy cream here. This is gonna add a little bit of extra fluffiness and creaminess to the eggs as well. What we're gonna do, here I'll kind of show you like this. Gonna whip some air into these eggs so they're nice and light and fluffy. You have a nice fluffy omelet. You'll see some bubbles there. That's perfect. So we're going to season it right away with a little bit of onion powder, about a teaspoon. And then this is for the inside as well as the eggs. So salt and pepper. So I'm going to divide it in half. And we'll use the other half of that later. Kind of whisk this together. I'm going to throw about half of the chives in there. You don't have to, you can just put them on top if you'd like. But I like a little chives in my omelet. And it's nice, everything's incorporated. There's no lumps of onion powder. Everything looks good. So let's go to the stove. Alright guys, here we are at the stove. So I have a pan here. It is on medium heat. And what we're going to do first is we're going to add a little tab of butter. This is the 1 teaspoon. We're going to get this nice and melted, because what we want to do is we kind of want to cook our tomatoes and asparagus a little bit ahead of time, so that they're not too undercooked when we add it to our omelet. So I'm going to take our asparagus here. We're going to go asparagus in. Kind of give this a little mix around here. Alright, then we're going to go our tomatoes. Now the tomatoes are going to release a little bit of moisture, so you want to be a little cautious of that. You want to get that moisture out now so that when we add it to our omelet, you don't have a really runny omelet. But look at those colors, beautiful. That kind of looks like Christmas. Not quite there yet, not even Thanksgiving, but some of us have already put up our Christmas tree, so this one's for you. Alright, so what we're going to do here is we're going to add the rest of our salt and pepper. Give it a little mix around. This just takes about a minute or two, just to kind of get everything cooked down a little bit. Kind of blister those tomatoes so they're nice and tender. So for about 2 minutes that'll go. All right, so now that this has roughly been about 2 minutes, we're going to pull this off the heat. Now remember, it's going to have a little carryover cooking, so it'll cook, the pan is still warm. So I'm going to switch it out here with our omelet pan. So I'll let that sit over on the side. Now we have our omelet pan here, making sure this gets nice and up to temperature. We're going to add our other tablespoon of butter here. Kind of get this melting a little bit for our omelet. Get this butter going. Now I'm using a non-stick pan for this. Obviously it usually works the best. And I also have a rubber spatula to kind of separate the eggs from the pan as we're cooking. Usually you don't want to use any metal. No metal tongs, no metal spatulas. On a non-stick Teflon pan, you'll scratch it, and then you most likely need to buy a new one in a month or so. So we're using a rubber spatula. You can use a heat-tempered one. Just a normal rubber spatula will be fine, as long as you don't keep it in the pan because it doesn't get too hot. So we have our egg mixture here. All of our butter is melted. We have our eggs with a little bit of chives in there. I'm going to use the spatula to get out all these eggs out of the bowl, so that way we don't waste any product. Alright, and like I said, we're about medium heat. And what you're going to do is you're going to kind of go around the edges. Kind of just let it cook, do its thing for a second. And what we're going to do is kind of pull away from the edges. The edges will kind of cook up faster. Once I get a little bit of curd in there, the egg curd, we're going to start to just let it rest. I'm going to go around the edges, kind of moving the eggs around to see where we need to move the pan to heat up a little bit. See, the edges are starting to cook over here, so I'm going to move it a little bit. And now that you can start to get the eggs, you'll be able to start peeling a layer back and getting the eggs underneath that layer. Alright, I kind of swirl it around, let it go all over the edges there, and then I push the edges down. You can use a smaller pan if you want to make a smaller omelet as well. You don't have to use 4 eggs, you can use 2. You can use egg whites, anything you have left over in the fridge, any leftover tomatoes or chicken. It's really, omelets are really forgiving. You can kind of make it up as you go. A good way to use up product or ingredients that you have in the fridge that you might not normally eat anyway. It'll sit there for 2-3 days and you won't even use it. So this is a good way to do that, to save a lot of money. So you see there, I can pull the eggs back and get some more eggs underneath in that little lip. So now we're looking really good here. The eggs are really starting to pull away from the pan. Alright, here we go, the infamous omelet flip. I'm going to give it a little extra heat there, kind of help it non-stick. In 3, 2, 1. There we go, not too bad, not too bad. So you take your spatula, kind of bring some of the edges out if they don't go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our filling here, kind of go right smack dab in the middle. There, the delicious asparagus, tomatoes, nice healthy options. And at this point we can turn off the heat The pan being warm already will kind of help it carry over cook. We'll add our cheddar cheese. And we'll leave it like this, and let's go plate. All right, guys, so here we are with our omelet. So cheese is starting to melt, you see. So I want to take one side and kind of flip it over on there like that. I'm going to spin this around, making sure that none of the edges are stuck. Now this is going to take some practice, but what you're going to do is you're going to go underneath the omelet with a spatula. You're going to bring it to the plate, and now as your second hand, you're going to use the pan to flip that omelet right over. And then you have a perfect stuffed omelet. All we're gonna do is we're going to garnish it with a little bit of cheese and a little bit of those fresh chives. And there you have it, Chef Pesto's delicious morning omelet. All right, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know down in the comments if you actually tried this video and what you think. If you would add anything, take anything away, I'd love to hear your feedback. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell so you can be alerted for all future videos. I look forward to hearing your comments, and we'll see you soon.